make sure that your solution matches that problem statement, so that again, you're not creating a solution that only looks at a symptom, that you're really drilling down to the cause and applying that solution to the problem that you want to focus on. So before we get into all of that though, let's focus on you guys and what you have done this week. So I'm just going to go down the list as I have it in the Discord. So if the representative from team 1 wants to throw their screen and microphone on and like shout a bit so that you get moved over to the center of the screen. There we go. Perfect. That is here. So introduce yourself and then tell us about what you guys have worked on this week.
Perfect, thanks. Hi, so I'm the representative for Team 1, and as a collective, I guess we are the Energy Society at NUI Galway. My name is Hannah, and I guess our problem statement, it kind of took us a while to get to it at first, but we've kind of settled on that there's, say, a lot of students or just young people in general who see the effects of climate change all around them, and the environmental destruction as well, and it's very overwhelming a lot of the time, and it can make you very worried or nervous, and sometimes you really want to do something about it, but you just don't know where to start. And there's like an infinite number of platforms out there to help you, I guess, like to give you information. So yeah, we were just saying that was a bit overwhelming, I think. Yeah.
Wonderful. Good. A very specific and very large problem to look at, for sure. Awesome. I can't wait to see where you guys take it from there. Great. Thank you, Team 1. Let's move on. Team 2, if your representative will turn on your camera and make some noise so that you pop up.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so if you'll introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you guys are working on.
Yeah, so my name's Orla and we're a team of 5. We all got put together, so it's great. Our problem that we identified was sustainable fashion, so kind of goal 15 and 16. And sorry, I'll just get the exact thing that I've written down to say. We decided that the problem is with the pandemic that it's hard to buy secondhand at the moment. And now I'm a DCU student, so I was part of a swap shop in DCU pre-pandemic. And what I noticed now I'm on Erasmus in France actually, but now I noticed that like it's much harder for them during the pandemic to keep the swap shop going. And so we decided that we would focus the problem by creating some sort of online swap shop. So that would mean like Tinder, but a swap shop.
Cool, nice.
And also another part of the problem that we noticed was gender inequalities within sustainable fashion. So we're planning on gathering some data based on male versus female on who knows more about, like which gender knows more about sustainable fashion, which gender knows less, like why is that, and how could we improve that through our app.
Fabulous, wonderful. Yeah, sounds like a great options for things to focus down in on. So
yeah.
I'd warn you, don't start thinking about solutions quite yet.
True.
Focus on that problem.
Will do.
So thanks for sharing, guys. Team 5, is there a Team 5 representative? No, I will check in with Team 5 another time. Team 6. Yeah.
Hey.
There he is.
Hey guys. Yeah, so Team 6, we've got Tatiana Brandau, Holly Dupuer, and Nathan Grasso. So yeah, we've sort of discussed throughout the week. It took us a while to get there, like other groups and had a couple of meetings. But sort of our problem statement is focused around food waste, harmful agriculture, and increasing awareness around responsible food consumption. So yeah, and especially sort of within a university environment, how can this become more affordable for students? Because it is quite difficult, as a lot of us know. You want to eat the right food, you want to be responsible about your consumption, but it can often come at a cost, and it is difficult for students. So, and then increasing student awareness as well through university, an organization that could focus around this, and practical hands-on experience, and how can we increase all of these. So that's sort of where we're at the minute in terms of our problem statement.
Awesome. Fab. Sounds like great, really good kind of cohesive ideas around where you can focus on, with lots of options, again, to focus in on finding a solution. Wonderful. You guys are so well set up for this week. Makes me so happy. All right, next up we have team 6. Or no, that was
think
team
it's
6.
team 7.
Sorry, team 7.
Hi, this is Sanga from Team 7. We didn't really collectively decide on one idea. We were doing our kind of individual research, and none of my group members are here today for some reason, so I'll talk about my own. So mine was about raising awareness around the environmental issues. So we know like a lot of third level students would go through college without any mention of the environment in their courses. So how do we communicate the problems to people in a way that doesn't overwhelm? I think somebody talked about overwhelm. So how do you actually connect with people on these issues? So more on communication, awareness, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Nice, wonderful. And I love hearing different different approaches to the same general kind of problem. So right, this is part of why we have these stand-ups, so that you guys can all hear what other people are working on. You're always welcome to share reflections on other people's presentations or other people's ideas in the general chat as well. The more people we get thinking about, the better ideas or the better solutions we all end up with at the end. So awesome, thank you. Yeah. And next up, team number 9. Is there a team 9er here? Going once, going twice. All right, I will check in with team 9 later. Team number 10. Is there a team 10?
Hello. Can you
There
hear
we
me?
We can, yes, you're good.
Sorry, I don't have a camera.
That's
I
okay.
hope that's okay. Okay, so my name is Cyrus Rodrigo, and I am the representative for a team in Maynooth University. Our problem statement is the amount of disposable coffee cups that are used every day. So we decided to focus on this statement because we have seen so many bins filled to the brim with coffee cups around towns or our very own campus. Moreover, some of these recyclable cups were disposed in a general waste bin. And we want to change that using compostable coffee cups. And we want to encourage the use of compostable coffee cups in cafes, restaurants where coffee is being taken out, you know. So this week we have research data and statistics from the internet, such as how many cups are used daily in Ireland, which is a whopping 2 million. We have sent surveys to numerous cafes asking about their cups, whether they use compostable cups already or do they offer discounts to people who bring their own cups. And we gathered information about advantages and disadvantages of using compostable cups. For example, compostable cups are environmentally friendly, but disadvantages, they're wasted if they are not even composted properly. So yeah, that's what we've done this week.
Wonderful. No, that sounds
Thank
great.
you.
I love hearing about surveys. So I rant about surveys to Sophie. So now I get to rant to you guys about surveys. We're going to talk more about surveys next week as well when we talk about validation. So you guys are ahead of the curve on the survey creation. Wonderful. Thank you guys. And last but not least, team 10 or team 11. I can read my own list. Team 11.
Hiya. I'm also cameraless, but
No problem.
we are from Maynooth as well. We're quite new. Last week I had a bit of a family issue myself, so we were late joining, but we're all very excited to get going and get brainstorming on ideas. It's all great to hear what everybody else is doing, just to kind of set us in the right direction.
I'll jump in with you guys at the end of today, at the end of the workshop today, and make sure that y'all are all caught up. And if you need if you have any questions or anything, we'll make sure you guys get caught up and that you're all on the right track.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. We want everybody to have a good time. All right. So great work, everybody, this week. Awesome updates. Really excited to hear what everyone is working on and how you're kind of bringing everything together. Like I said before, if you have any reflections or any feedback or any extra information, anything you want to share with one of the other teams, you're welcome to do so. Just drop it into the general chat. If you say, if you at the team, and then the number, the same way your team number is set up, it'll tag the people who are in that team and they'll get a notification that you have sent them a message, because you can't go into their private channel because that's where all the secrets are hidden. So, but if you want to talk to a team or send a team a message, you can at them within the general chat. So let's go back to my slides. I realized I put them in the wrong order. So I wanted to show you guys this picture, this nice little cartoon, just to kind of make this idea of critical thinking and understanding a problem and creating a solution a bit less daunting. So we're kind of at that top row there, right? We've understood the problem somewhat, started to explore where it goes, and maybe have started to think about, okay, what are the possibilities of ways that we could get around this problem that we've identified? And today we're going to focus on talking more about digging into those possible solutions that you might be able to have or that you might be able to apply to the problem that you've identified. So for everybody's problems, food waste to overwhelming amounts of information, how can you now say, these are the possible ways that we could get over this puddle or get around this puddle? And these are some of the things we might want to watch out for, some of the alligators hidden under the water that we might want to watch out for within that solution or within all of those possible solutions. So, week 2, we're focusing on ideation. This is the week or the step everybody wants to jump ahead to. It's the fun one. It's the one where you get to look out into the future and see what it is that you want to build, start to see the potential for the future, for the ideal world that you are going to create. This was actually one of our mentors at a past event said this, and I have stolen it and used it for every slide or every ideation talk since then. This idea that you're not looking for a solution, but you're imagining the problem solved. So in the same way we talked last week about that idea of going from the super windy, confusing road to that nice, clean, straight road. Imagining what that solved problem looks like, what that perfect ideal world looks like, and then identifying how it is that you're going to get there. Go to the next one. So first off, organizing your information. You guys have tons of information, I'm sure, from all of your research this week, tons of ideas, and just making sure that you have it in a way where you can put it in some useful sort of arrangement. And that's going to mean going from something that maybe looks like a complete mess, that top pile of Legos there, and starting to bring it out into something that's more and more usable. Get it just in the colors, getting it roughly arranged in a way you can kind of understand, and then really organizing it so that it's very clear, you know right away, this is where the problem is. This is where, like, the meat of the problem. This is where we can start to focus in on our solution. So we don't, now that you have all of this information, all of this problem statement research, I don't want you to just drop it and focus on one thing and say, this is the solution, and just because I've decided it is. So you've done all this problem statement research, let's really use it well. Also because that is one of the criteria in your judging criteria. And so if you don't do it, you're gonna get DAC points. So we had this last week. You saw this template last week, whether or not you decided to use it. We have this idea of all of the stakeholders and all of their process to go from point A to point B within the problem, or within identifying the problem that you were looking at. So I want you to go back to this this template or this concept of the stakeholders within your problem and start to identify what are the commonalities there. Because if you can solve a problem that's affecting a lot of people, you're going to have a bigger market, right? As again, part of your criteria is whether you can, whether you have a plan for getting this solution out into the world, onto your university campuses, onto multiple university campuses, out beyond university campuses even. So knowing that this is a problem that's affecting more than one group of people will help you with that, will help you to be able to say, this is how we're going to move beyond that. We're going to spread our solution out to the world. So starting to look in at what are the commonalities within your stakeholders there, the people who are affected by your problem, impacted by your problem. And once you've identified that, once you've figured out this is where kind of all of these roads cross, all of these people are coming together, start to prioritize that. We're going to do this week is a lot of these sort of priority graphs. So along one axis, you'll have a few people to most of the people. And on your vertical, none of the time to all of the time. And start to arrange the problems or arrange the commonalities that you found within this kind of structure to say what is affecting most of the people all of the time, so that you can make as big of an impact as possible with your one solution. You want to really be able to say, this is something that is worth the investment, especially if it's going to be something that you're going to ask the university to invest money in, or that might, for the people involved, for the stakeholders involved, have a little bit of extra cost, maybe in time or in effort or in resources or in money. You want to make sure that you can show this is something that is going to have enough impact that it will be worth that investment, whether in whatever resource you're asking it to be in. So if most of your issues you're finding are this kind of few of the people, none of the time sort of square, maybe start to look around, dig a little deeper and see what else you can find that is something that's causing more issues for more people. On the flip side of that, I will say there is a caveat to that. If it's something that is very, very specialized, and so you already have a waiting market, this is something David brought up last week, better to have kind of one person who really, really wants your solution, who really, really wants your product, than to have a million people who are kind of sure about wanting your product. So if your solutions are falling into that, we won't say none of the time, but some of the time, few of the people sort of realm, make sure that it's something that is purposefully very niche. You're saying this is where we're going to target. We've thought out why it is that we are going to focus on this very specific issue for this very specific group. And so that you can justify if the judges ask you why it is that you made a decision to focus on something so specific. As someone who usually works for things that are very specific for very small groups of people, I fully support people focusing in on that, but just make sure that you can justify, because people will for sure ask you if you can justify that decision. And then you get a lot more credit, or street cred kind of, if you can justify that really good decision, that really specific kind of dangerous decision. And then I want you to identify, so once you've said, okay, this is what we've decided to focus on, this is the specific aspect of the problem that we've decided to focus on, drill down again into where are the areas for opportunity. And so I have a lot of Dilbert cartoons you're going to see throughout. My mother and one of my best friends sends me Dilbert cartoons quite regularly. So I have a stockpile and you all get to benefit from them. So this idea of, instead of looking at problems as a problem or something to be gotten rid of, it's an opportunity to build something better. And the same way I've talked about the mentors poke holes in your will poke holes in your ideas so that you can build them stronger. Same here with a problem. It's not a hole, it's an opportunity to build that portion back even stronger. So once you've identified, this is the issue that we're going to focus on, this is the people that we're going to focus on providing a solution to or delivering that solution to, where are the opportunities within that for improvement? Instead of looking at an entire chunk of this is the problem and we need to fix it, go, okay, what are the parts that make up that problem? Can I fix this problem? Or can I fix this aspect of it? Can I fix this aspect of it? And really narrow down what in that problem is the very, very fine-tuned little thing that you can solve. Again, like David was talking about last week, narrowing it down, getting down to the very, very heart of what your problem is, so that you know that what you're presenting, especially in something like this workshop or in this hackathon, where it's a relatively short amount of time, you're presenting the core of what it is that you want to, of the product that you want to introduce to the world, want to give out to people. So once I've figured out that area for improvement, looking at how is fixing that little thing going to start to impact the people around you? How might they think and feel about it? What do you hear when you talk to them about it? What else? I can never remember what's on the other side. What are they going to see? And what are they going to do? How is it going to impact the pain point that they have? And what are they going to gain from it? This is where I would recommend starting to get out and talk to people a little bit, trying to understand if you have a solution, or is it something that they're going to use? Is it something they're interested in? Is it something that's going to positively impact them? As you're kind of testing out ideas, and I would do this process, these last kind of 3 slides, for a variety of ideas. Narrow it down to maybe a few and start to say, okay, I'm going to go talk to the people at the cafe and say, here are 3 things that I'm looking at. Would one of these be interesting to you? How would you react to different things that I've presented here? And, if they're saying, oh yeah, I think that's great, and I feel like this would be a solution for us, but they're not currently actively looking for a solution for that problem, so they're not actively out looking for compostable cup options, then maybe this isn't something that you want to focus on, or you're going to have to do a bit more work to convince them. If it's students who want more information or saying that they want more information about climate or fast fashion, but they're still happily shopping at Zara, you're going to have to do a bit more work in getting the solution to them, or in convincing them that this is the solution that they want, or that this is the solution that's going to help them. So really understanding here how your solution, or how your stakeholders are reacting to your solution. This will help you a lot in the getting it out to the market in your delivery aspects. And then you can start to specifically brainstorm solutions. Once you know, okay, the cafe was interested in compostable cups, students are really interested in getting information delivered to them, whatever it is you find in your research or in your talking to people this week, you can start to say, this is the solution people want. How are we going to get there specifically? Like we said before, define your problem down there again. You can't define your problem too much. I'm going to say it every week. You should always be redefining that problem, sort of distilling it down to its essence. Reverse the problem. That's your perfect solution. That's the solution you're imagining. Start to collect ideas. What are some possible ways we can get from point A, where we are now, to point B, and then start reverse engineering those ideas. What do we need to do? If I'm going to build a spaceship to get to Mars, what do I need to do to build that spaceship to get to Mars? How can I kind of reverse engineer what I need to do to get there so I can get down to the core of that solution and what I need to have for that solution? So then I can say, well, maybe building a spaceship to get to Mars isn't so great. Maybe instead I will take a picture from my telescope, and in that way I can see what Mars looks like instead. Maybe that will be the better solution, what have you. So reverse engineering all of your ideas so you can identify what's actually doable, what's going to have, again, that idea of most impact for the least amount of work. And don't worry if anybody's panicked over the amount of this. I've broken it down to a shorter to-do list at the end of the whole slideshow. I'll put it in the Discord as well. Don't worry. I know it's a lot of information this week. Once you've kind of settled on some of your solutions, determine what you can and should do. And this meme, you will see it every week because I will say it over and over again. Don't be preoccupied with what you can do. Focus on what you should do. So, for example, doing something like I'm going to make a web app or I'm going to create a tech solution sounds like a great, fun, very cool, very of the moment response to a lot of problems. But digging it down deeper and finding out if that's actually the solution that the problem needs or the solution that is a better use of your time can sometimes result in maybe a web app or a tech solution isn't what's actually needed. Sometimes maybe it's a really analog solution that is needed for a modern day problem. So always asking yourself, is this what I should be doing or is this what I can do? And once again, you can lay it out into a nice grid. So looking at what solutions or what things you can build, especially when we're starting to look at what you're going to show for your MVP, for your prototype later on, really understanding now what will have the most value for the lowest effort to show people ahead of time or show people early on will help you to better manage your time. So at this point, having just kind of a loose understanding, because we're going to use this grid kind of throughout the rest of the workshop in your ideas. So if I'm going to build my spaceship to Mars, I'm going to say, okay, or I'm trying to take a picture of Mars, and I'm going to build a spaceship to get there. And say, well, a spaceship is very high effort and low value. Probably I shouldn't do that. But buying a telescope and taking a picture, pretty high value, pretty low effort. That should probably go in my do it now. And I can talk in my pitch about how this is just step one. And later down the line, we'll build a spaceship and we will go to Mars. So understanding now what aspect, getting again down to that really core part of your solution that you want to show to people, what you're going to do now, what you can do now, what you can show now, and what you're going to do later on when you have time or when you've gotten your VC and you have an investment of $1 million to play with. And then always checking back in with how it fits in with your stakeholders. Is it something that is going to impact their lives? How is it going to impact their lives? Is it going to only have a net positive on their lives? Making sure that you're not creating, again, more problems than you're solving. Making sure that you're not accidentally adding to the problem. So really looking at, okay, how can we, making sure, checking back in, that you're positively impacting all of your stakeholders so that in the end, you don't get kind of blindsided by an issue that you might not have seen coming or that you might not have expected to be asked about. So always checking back in. Whenever you have a new idea, go back, check back in. Does this help my stakeholders? And then keep moving forward. If the answer is yes, it's all positive, then you can keep moving forward with it. And if it's no, dig back down in. What is it? Why is it not working? This is why I would recommend, again, having all of these on Miro so you can just slide over, look back at where you were a few minutes ago and say, okay, this is why we made the decision we did. Let's rethink and keep moving on. This is just another example of the of a template for the stakeholders. And I'll put again all the names of the templates onto the Discord as well, so that you can see, you can have lots of options for filling in how it affects your stakeholders, how it kind of fits in with their needs. So as I promised, here is the simplified to-do list for the week. And I will drop this into the Discord as well so that you have it and that you can just kind of check it off throughout the week as you go. And I'll also give you all of those Miro template names too. So first step, organize the information that you have from last week. Make sure that you have it in a way that you can understand and that you can pull ideas out of. So hopefully it was already on Miro, it was already in some place that you have access to. And you can say, all right, I'm gonna put a circle around this one. If you go in Miro on the side menu, there are shapes and you can put a shape around whatever, a sticky note, text, anything you like. And I believe if you right click on it, it'll give you the option to draw a line to something else. So you can have the virtual like strings attached to different things on the wall. Organize what you want. Focus, know for yourself or find a way to organize for yourself where different decisions are coming from. Determine where in the problems that you've identified you can make improvements. Looking at, excuse me, looking at where those little fine-tuned kind of granular issues are, and then figuring out, do they affect a lot of people? Do they affect a few people? How often? How much of an impact can we have with this solution? And know how you're going to justify that decision. I'm going for lots of people a lot of the time. I'm going for this very, very specific group of people, so that you can say when the judges ask you, because they will inevitably ask you why you made the decision to go for the group that you went for. And then start brainstorming those solutions. Start looking at that's the fun part. Start looking at what's it going to look like? What is your solution going to be? What is the fun? What is the toy going to be? And then coming back to reality, figuring out kind of, is that possible? Is it something that could be built? Is it something that you have the skills within your team to build? Is it something that you would have to bring in somebody from the outside to build? Is it something that you can demonstrate in this short month worth of time that we have for the workshop? And then check back in with your stakeholders. Is it something that fits their workflow? Is it something that's going to positively impact them? Is it something that they're going to use? Even if you've created the best solution that has ever been seen for a problem, if people aren't going to use it or they can't use it for some reason, it's not going to do anything. So if I've made the best solution ever, I'm going to teach all students about the environment, and it's going to be great, but it has to be delivered through BlackBerry phones. Probably not going to do very well, given that I don't think anybody has Blackberries anymore. And I probably just revealed my age by making a BlackBerry reference. So make sure that it's something they can use and that they can get to. And then last and super excitingly, you guys should have if you haven't already, a couple of teams have already had their first mentor meetings this week. You have your first mentor meetings this week. So I have sent to everybody in your individual team channels a time and the name of your mentor. I'm going to drop all the mentors' names and their little bios into the general channel this evening so that you can see who everyone is. You can get a little bit of background on them if you haven't met them already. Make sure that at that time you are in your team voice channel so that your mentors can just drop right in and join your chat. Again, it's their job to poke little holes in all of the assumptions that you have made and to question what you've done. So if they're all very nice, but if they're a bit brisk or you feel like they've torn everything you've done down, don't get frustrated. That's what they're there for. And it's so that, again, that idea of where there's a hole, you can build it back and it will be stronger for that. The people with lots of experience in business and in hackathons. And so we're happy to have them all. We're all really thrilled to have them all. And they are here to question your assumptions and be kind of the outside eye to make sure that you guys have the best solution in the end, which is what we all want. The goal is to make it very hard for the judges to make a decision at the end. So next one. All right, how do we have? Ooh, awesome. Okay, for the last bit, we're going to go to your Discord channels. So you can close out when I say go, don't do it now. When you leave, you can close out this Zoom and you don't have to deal with moving back and forth. But I want everybody to meet in their team's channels on the Discord and talk about, give yourselves a general to-do list for the week so that you know, okay, this is our goals. This is what we want to get done this week. Know roughly who is responsible for what and kind of when you're going to do it as well. So that you already, by the end of today, have an idea of, okay, this is when we want to meet, or this is when people's research or ideas or contributions to the Miro board are due. So that you guys know this is what's expected of me, this is when I need to have it done, and this is who is going to do what. And figure out, if you haven't already, how you're going to track what you've accomplished. If it's just that you're going to collect documents and chats in the Discord channel. If you've made a Miro board, fabulous. I've seen a few of you have. If you have a Google channel, or sorry, Google Drive, or I know few people are using their university drives as well. So know where you're going to keep it. Make sure that everybody has access, so that nobody's feeling left out and everybody can contribute as much as possible. So any questions from anyone? You can either throw them in the chat or put your camera on and shout a question. I know that was a lot of information today too, which is why I'm giving you guys lots of time to meet at the end of today in your team channels as well. But
Hi there.
any questions? Hello.
Hi, I haven't been assigned a group. Actually, I had got the group in the Discord as number 9, but later on I didn't, hear back from any of them.
Okay, we'll figure out. Just number 9. We'll figure out. We'll get you a team. Don't worry. I'm sure we'll get you a team. Don't worry. Because you're not popping up on my screen. Tell me your name.
Marin Abraham, MERIN.
Okay, cool. Oh, there you are. Okay, fine. We'll get you onto a team. Don't worry. Is there anybody else who has a team that has
Thank
gone
you.
AWOL? No problem.
Hi, this is Sangha again from group 7. So none of the members are here today and they didn't really so they didn't pop a message in the group saying they won't be here or why. So I'm not sure if they're still in or they've left.
Okay. So Marin, I think we will add you to team 7 and then I will do some digging around and figure out where the rest of team 7 has gone. So hold on. I will add you right now so that you guys can meet together. Done. All right,
Um,
Miriam, you're now in team 7. Yes.
Oh, hi.
Gavin Healy. I'm Liam Nagel, and we kind of like have a group for the Climathon in our own module, and we wonder if we can make our own group within this hackathon as well, because well, we joined late and we didn't have it. We didn't have anything organized. We weren't in last week.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I will
Are
probably
you
make
from Manus?
Yeah.
You're the Manus guys. Yeah. Okay. Good.
yeah, for sure. I'll probably make you guys, hold on, I'm gonna write this down. And I'll just add you guys in one of the teams that has gone AWOL. You'll probably be the new team 9 so that I don't have to make a new team. So you guys will probably be the new team 9. I will add you guys in a moment, Liam and Gab. Okay. Cool. Anybody else lost without a team? Cool. Any questions from anyone about what they need to do, what you need to do this week, or anything that we talked about? I know this was like a lot of information coming at you on a Monday night. Awesome. All right. Cool. So I'm going to drop Liam and Gavin into team 9, and then you guys can all jump into your team voice channels on Discord. You're welcome to close out this Zoom because we're not going to come back here tonight. So no, I don't have a team. Probably Zanel, I'm going to add you to the team 7 as well. So if you're, yep, there you go. Your eyes are out. So Zanel, I will drop you into team 7. And Liam and Gavin, I will drop you guys into team 9 right now. Before I forget all of that. Gavin. Gavin.